Hello, everybody. Hope we're all doing well, and welcome to episode 17. I'm pretty sure this is episode 17. Say hello, Knight.
Hello.
I believe this episode was called Sudden Death.
It was.
And
which I think is supposed to be a term in football, I think.
Okay, I know sudden death is definitely a term in soccer. I don't know a lot about American football.
You know, it would have been funny if you just also went ahead and called it football, because where you're from, it's known as football and not soccer. And yes, this was episode 17.
So, yeah, first, how are you, Knight? How you doing?
Living La Vida Loca.
I can hear the enthusiasm in your voice. I can just hear it shining through. Oh, dear. I think that's how we all feel at the moment. But anyway. Oh. I think the thing...
I will say.
Yeah.
I do like that the wiki did go ahead and change Miss Jenner's name to Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, the wiki did?
I respect that. It did. It did.
I was sat there for quite a while going, I recognise this person, but I don't know why. And then it clicked all of a sudden. So yeah, this is Sudden Death. I mean, again, we're only 17 episodes in, and I already think that getting Jessica Fletcher to where the murder is already getting really, really dumb. So the setup for this one is that her uncle has died. So she goes to the funeral, and he has left her some shares of the Leopards.
Yes.
Which is a football club based somewhere. I'll be honest, I never picked up where they were meant to be in America.
That's a great question.
For this episode.
New Mexico is what the wiki states. I don't care.
They were definitely somewhere. And yeah, so she ends up with 4,000 shares and really excited about being part owner of a football club.
No, she wasn't, but God, what is it annoying. It was her get out of jail free card, and she used it so liberally that it was just annoying.
It was.
Apparently, the claim that it's from New Mexico is based on the phone area code that's listed on the retirement and the New Mexico license plate on the hearse.
Okay, so maybe they never actually said where they were.
Probably.
Because yeah, I didn't have a clue where they were for this one. Not that it really matters, I guess. But this is definitely what I would say, or what I think is going to become more of the format of Murder, She Wrote. Like, this episode felt fairly comfortable to me. Even if the story itself wasn't the best. And it involves your favorite, a kid actor.
Who actually did okay, because they didn't have any voice lines.
Yes. I think she was a lot better than the mother.
Yes.
And
they did use some very correct sign language. I know just enough to have known some of the signals that they did and that they were correct.
I had no idea about the sign language. But yeah, so... yeah, like I said, the whole trying to get Jessica Fletcher to where she needs to be so there can be a murder nearby felt incredibly forced on this one. The part owner of the football club, it wasn't really explained to me because she'd already decided she was going to spend a few days and not go straight back after the funeral. I didn't really I can understand why she might have stayed the night, but
yeah,
it seemed a little bit odd that she was going to spend a few days there anyway. I did like how obviously when the lawyer turns up, or the attorney who tells Jessica Fletcher that she's got these shares, I do like the fact that she just was having none of it, because I mean he was trying to be incredibly pushy and say, just sign this, I'll send you a check.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh no, I don't know what this is. I need to look this over and all this kind of stuff." I
He
did
tries to
like
play.
that.
He's stupid because he's trying way too hard to play that he's doing her a favor.
And then, yeah, she does seem fairly excited about the fact that she's now a part owner of a football club. Because I mean, she heads straight over there from the funeral,
Yeah.
right?
And no one was dead yet at that point.
Well, no, I mean
And she attends the
the
party.
person doesn't die for quite a while in this one, which again I
Yeah.
think is probably going to be part of the formula going forwards. Because again, you have to set up the many reasons why someone might want this person dead. There then has to be a murder, and then there then has to be a solve. I think
Motives can come later, because you can play the motives into the investigation.
I don't
They
know.
don't have to happen beforehand.
That's true, but I don't know if that's going to be the formula for Murder, She Wrote. And I'll be intrigued to see going forward. Like I think we've seen this formula a couple of times now from Murder, She Wrote, and I would say they seem to be the better episodes, which is a low bar to jump at the moment. But I would say they seem to be the better episodes by and large. Also apologize for anyone listening to this if you can hear my fan. It's too warm to turn it off.
I hear it and it's driving me nuts.
Okay, well, I apologize, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Just to help you deal with it, I've decided to start moving my icon around in Discord.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So I think we're then on the track where she almost gets run over by the deaf child.
I thought he was driving.
No, she was driving.
Oh, well.
Because again, Jessica Fletcher makes the comment that she's never learnt to drive, and that the little girl is ahead of her.
Also, why the hell would you have a vehicle like that, period? Why are you driving it on the running track around the football field?
No, the vehicle makes sense because it is just a normal kind of. They do have those vehicles on football fields. It's basically a golf cart, right? And they do have them for coaches and stuff. Why this struggling football club would have spent the money to turn it into a giant football helmet, I do not know. That makes no sense. I can understand them having a vehicle, but why they would have turned it into a giant football helmet, I have no idea. Unless that's their mascot.
But they're the leopards.
Yeah, and their mascot is a giant helmet. I never saw anyone in a leopard suit.
You wouldn't expect that out of a struggling company. Though I will say, they can't have been struggling too bad for as much as everyone's willing to offer her for the shares and how little the other gentleman was bought out for years in the past.
I mean, but I think that was meant to be one of the intrigues of the plot, right? Because they are struggling. They're not winning games.
Mm-hmm.
We're told that the one guy whose name I've forgotten, who is the guy who gets murdered, owns 48%.
Phil Kruger.
And then there's meant to be a conglomerate who owns the other 48%.
Yes.
Which we later we find out someone else has actually bought all of their shares. And then Jessica Fletcher owns the rest. I think,
which is 4%.
So I think with the price of the shares, I honestly think they're only worth that kind of money because obviously Kruger, is that what he's called?
Mm-hmm.
Kruger wants to move the team to a different city, and there's obviously money there, right? So he wants the shares because he sees there's profit in moving the team to a bigger city, and I'm assuming getting more investors, all that kind of stuff. The other side of it, the people who want to keep it here, I think are only doing it out of loyalty to the town and the team.
Yeah.
So I would say the team probably, I mean, it's not, they're obviously still paying all of the wages. They're obviously making money. However, American football teams make money. they weren't. I'm assuming they weren't like NFL level.
There are levels beneath that. That is correct.
Yeah. So I don't know how they would have made money in 1985, like TV rights. Do you get paid per match? Like, I have no idea. I mean, like ticket sales, I guess. I don't know how an American football team makes money.
Broadcast rights and tickets would be the main profit runners, but they don't appear to have either. Though I will say, it is a thing in the world of sports to buy a team because the league basically already has the exact number it wants to have. It's not going to admit anyone else. So if you want to have a team, then you need to buy one, and then potentially, in this case, move it to a city where it can grow.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the same. Well, I'm not with the moving it to a city, but yeah, it's the same with soccer over here. I mean, not what Ryan Reynolds and McElhenney did with Wrexham. But yes, weird setup.
Long setup.
Very, very long setup. So yeah, so she then goes to see the team. She almost gets run over. We're introduced to Caitlin / Bruce Jenner. I can't remember their character's name at all.
It's Farrell.
And their little family, which is quite sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Quite nice. And then I believe, hang on, before she's on the track, has she gone into the meeting?
No, that's just afterwards.
Or is that just after?
Just after.
Okay, so then she goes into the meeting with all the people where they're talking about how the club isn't doing very well, how they're not winning games, how 5 members of the team are on injury, and how Kruger definitely wants a win. He needs a win.
He only cares about the financial value of the team, and the win is the way to measure that.
Yes.
That's...
yeah. And yeah, then we're introduced, there's about 8,000 different coaches. I think there was 2.
Yeah.
And the equipment manager. And I think the lawyer is there as well. The attorney is there as well.
Yeah, you've got both the defensive coach, or the primary coach, I believe it was the defensive coach. You've got the maintenance guy, and then the lawyer. Brad Lockwood is the lawyer, and God, did he nailed the lawyer personality that you absolutely want to drag through the streets.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah. And so who is is he one of the coaches?
Which one?
Brad?
No. The attorney? No.
No. I know the attorney isn't one of the coaches, but you've got 2
You've got
coaches.
Tank is the defensive trainer. You've got Pat is the guy who puts his home up for mortgage to try and outbid.
Yeah.
Because Kruger immediately tries to buy Jessica out. Obviously, everyone wants her percentage.
Just after this meeting, Kruger is the first one to offer money for the shares.
Right. And he makes it up that he's being very generous by giving her $6,000 extra for free.
Yes. But I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to be coy. The guy who ends up being the murderer, is he one of the coaches?
No.
Because I can never...
No, he's not.
How is he connected to the team?
That's a great question.
Because that's what I was just thinking. I was like, how is he connected to the team?
It has to be that he is part of the conglomerate that has that 48%, and they know he's part of that conglomerate, but they don't realize that it is just him.
Yeah, because
the entire
okay, so yeah, maybe he's invited to the party just because they know he owns a few shares, but not as many.
And even if he had a nearly controlling stake in the conglomerate, it still would only be the 48%, and there's not enough to throw around that. But when you own all of it, every extra penny matters.
Okay.
Though, do we actually ever see him? Does he ever try to offer Jessica to buy out her shares? I don't think he does.
No, I don't believe directly. But I think one of the other people is working with him. Either the coach is trying to buy the 4% to put them with him. I think it was the coach who was trying to buy them to put with the other 48%.
Pat was trying to put it with the 48%, because then he would have enough of a well, no, 4% is not enough if the other two groups want to move. So why was Pat? Well, Pat only knew that who's the head coach, who's also he's a character, a very boring character.
Very boring character.
I guess he thinks that the other controlling 48% does want to keep it in town.
I think
and if he can get a hold of that 4%,
he knows the other 48% wants to keep her in town, or has been told by the other 48% that they want to stay in town. Because I think he goes after them for that group, even though he is going to buy them himself because he has to mortgage his house.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just wondering as I was thinking back when we were talking about it, is how is the murderer actually connected to the team? Because it's only revealed quite late that he is the guy who has brought all of the other 48% up.
Well, and who is Harris Talmadge, who's a trustee? He was the almost looks like he's wearing a toupee guy who was there in the skeet shooting scene and a few others. What
I have no idea.
This episode was a mess. Too many people.
I have no idea who that was. But yeah, so they have the meeting. They cut it short because Jessica Fletcher comes in. Old, I'm forgetting all of their names. Old murdered guy is very angry at first, but then the lawyer says, "Oh look, it's Jessica Fletcher," and he turns all sweet and nice. And then
that's after he asks for. Jessica does ask for Kruger, him specifically, and he just not a single. Just fuck you. I don't care who you are.
This is a private meeting. Get out. And then the attorney's like, "That is Jessica Fletcher, the person you're trying to woo to get the controlling stake shares." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, turn on the charm." As you do.
Yes, bitch.
And yeah, that's when we get the first offer of 30,000, which 1985 was a lot of money. Right? 30,000 is going to buy you a house.
Almost certainly. but we also have a handy dandy thing actually on a .gov website that is an inflation calculator. So,
okay.
91,000, and homes were cheaper back then. They have risen more than inflation has.
Yes,
so yeah. 91,000 would probably buy you a home. Yeah, especially in a small town like Cabot Cove.
I think it definitely would have done, and you could have lived off it for a number of years as well.
And then she gets offered 60,000, which again would be 183. Yeah. And then the final offer, which is 150,000.
Yeah.
Would be $500,000.
Yeah. So she's offered big money for these shares, which I think just makes her more suspicious, right? Jessica Fletcher is not an idiot. If people are so desperate for these shares, she's going to want to know why. And what the hell is going on. But yeah, like the murder, the guy's murdered is clearly shown to be, I mean, a colossal dick. Yeah, there's no other way of putting it. We're definitely back to we killed the evil guy. But I think what was interesting with this one is, other than, because again, like I say, it's going back to the classic formula. There is a person who Jessica Fletcher definitely knows is innocent.
Yeah.
Who is the one where all the evidence points to him. But she knows, no, he's got a nice child. Definitely couldn't have been him. Was her reasoning.
Yeah, he was nice to her when she got there, and the kid was nice, and that's it.
The kid was nice, so there's no way he could have murdered anybody.
Which, historically speaking, like, there's... Just looking at serial killers who were wonderful neighbors, wonderful people, and for just one murder, for one guy you hate, being nice has nothing.
So I didn't like the reasoning, because again, all the others where she's done that is because they've either been related or old friends. So I can kind of understand why she would be more convinced they didn't do it. Right? But this one, complete stranger, their child has tried to run you over once. That's all you really know about them. But no, that's the reason. Couldn't have been him, even though all the evidence clearly says definitely him.
It could be argued that he's a decent dad and that she thinks more highly of him because he has a daughter that's deaf and he's bothered to learn sign
And
language.
I can even understand why she would want to look into it more. But he's definitely innocent stance she took based on that was dumb.
Annoying.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't like that.
That's par for the course for him.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, we've missed quite a lot. So I believe there's then the scene where the mother of the child gets threatened.
Yes.
Which, yeah, okay. It's not revealed why they're threatened for quite a while.
They say something about the kid.
Something about the kid, and that there's a secret to come out about the kid, which was interesting. And then I don't know when we're told why they want that guy to basically quit, because Caitlyn Jenner.
It's basically in the scene because he shows that his arms hurt, and they mention something. Yeah. It's clear he's on medical leave from that scene.
Yeah, and it was whatever the type of contract was called. I've forgotten, but like the no cut, I think it was no cut contract. Yeah. So even though he's injured, he will still get paid. But if he quits or is in jail, then they can get out of that contract.
Right. All he has to do to keep the contract is show up at games.
Yes, and they made it quite clear that he is their most expensive player, and by getting rid of him, your profits are going to go up.
I will say though, something that I've always found weird is the builds in football are so vastly different, and the training that each one gets and the importance of each one. Basically, you're a quarterback, or you're kind of, not cared about. No one gives a shit about anyone other than the quarterback. And quarterbacks do tend to be closer to the build that we see from Zach Farrell.
Yep. And I think this was very, very 80s American football, right? Because I feel now, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do not watch a lot of American football, but I feel now that most of them are all incredibly muscly, fit-looking athletes.
Yes.
Right? Whereas these people definitely looked like we're just doing Sunday morning football. Like, they didn't look like they were in a professional team.
Which then further begs the question, like, so much money to spend on 4%. I know it gives you a controlling interest, but 4%. There's a reason that they look more jacked now. It's because more people are paying attention. It's worth more money. And in the competition to be in the team higher, which drives more interest up.
Yeah. Well, I think just more people in general are looking like that. You know what I mean? Like the image of what fit men looks like has become so generic. I blame the Marvel movies, but the idea of a six-pack and all that kind of stuff, it is very much there, right? Which I don't think it really was in the 80s. And yeah, like you said, there wasn't as much money going through these sports at that time.
Right.
But a lot of money goes through sports now.
Oh yeah.
A lot of money. A lot of dodgy money.
I will say, did Jessica seem like she actually got drunk, and like that isn't something that Jessica Fletcher would do?
Oh, Jessica was definitely drunk, yes.
It didn't feel in character.
I don't know. I think we're meant to believe that Jessica Fletcher does let her hair down and have a little bit of a wild side. And she seemed genuinely annoyed. So she's dancing with someone, I think one of the coaches. And then the guy who turns out to be the murderer, because I honestly thought he was like a commentator, because that's what he looked like to me.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. He interrupts for a dance, and then both of those people fuck off and leave Jessica Fletcher alone, and she looked genuinely annoyed.
That scene was interesting.
Like she did seem generally annoyed that she was suddenly left by herself.
The whole party scene just seemed peculiar.
Oh my god, I mean, okay, no. We're too early to really get onto. There's a conversation I want to have about decor later on, but that house, I don't even know whose house it is. I think it was meant to be no, it wasn't the guy who was murdered. Whose house was that?
I have no idea. Because it doesn't seem like it's just a club.
Oh no, it's definitely somebody's house, and I think they do say somebody is throwing a party, but I just can't remember.
Theoretically, it could actually be a private club that they own,
who they
or
said
that
it
they've
was.
rented out.
But like the whole party vibe, but like the weird swimming pool in the middle, which I think was meant to look like it was outside, but really looked like it was inside, and it looked more like a pond than a swimming pool. And like
and every time they cut to it, there was one guy sitting in a corner of the smaller section with a woman on either side.
Yes,
generic.
And I mean, okay, I'm not a big party guy, but I couldn't really imagine going to a party where most people are in like just dressed up party clothes wise, but then some of you were in swimming stuff. Like the whole vibe just seemed weird. And then there's the one scene where they throw the woman into the pool because they're footballers and they're all they're all dicks. That just all seems a little bit odd. But yes,
I will say they were very ham-fisted with smacking or degrading the players.
Yes, they were
very ham-fisted.
And then, but yes, I think you are meant to believe that she went to that party and she had a very, very good time. I'm not saying she had the football team run a train on her, but possibly.
Whatever boats your float.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I found the whole party scene weird. But again, it was setting up the plot, which is the guy who gets murdered leaves.
Multiple people leave early.
Caitlyn Jenner is set up as the obvious suspect. So clearly, it's not him. Because he goes over, but there's a typed note on the door, which is funny. And then other people disappear. And then, I know one thing I wanted to check. It was the big clue they revealed at the end. I wanted to know if it did actually happen during the party.
Oh, I remember that.
And if it was actually visible.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm not bothering to scrub back through.
But, so yeah, they have this party. Clearly nobody in this football team particularly likes each other or trusts each other, which I also thought was quite funny.
Right.
Nobody likes the guy who ends up murdered. And
I will say the guy, I don't know, what would we call it? The caretaker of the area,
the equipment manager.
Yeah. He seemed like a lovely fellow.
Yeah, he just seemed a little bit grumpy because he was injured. And then it's later revealed he was basically his football career was ruined by the guy who gets murdered. Because he forced
still
him.
Seemed like a lovely guy.
Oh, he did. He was just old and grumpy. Yeah. Yeah.
Grover Dillon is what his name was. Also, the scene where they find him dead in the water.
Yes.
I know he's supposed to be dead. We know what this is showing. That's a shit shot.
It is. So, and we're introduced to, I think, possibly the worst detective we've ever seen in a Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he is found in the football club in the, I don't know what they would call it, the whirlpool.
Good question. Because
whatever
I don't
it is.
know what that's actually supposed to be.
I see they are in like these things fairly often. It's either like it's like the cold or hot tub, and they do normally have like a whirlpool function. It's so you can soak your muscles, I think.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So he is found in this. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad shot. I mean, one, obviously he's not dead, so they can't actually have him under the water because then he would die. But the fact that his mouth and his nose are above water level was a little bit hard with the shot.
the drowning shot is face down in the water, and that way you don't have they can be alive, and you only need them to be upside down
Yes.
for a second to pull
Yeah.
that shot off.
But then
instead
I do wonder again if and I'm probably giving them more benefit of the doubt than they deserve. I am wondering if they were trying to suggest at that early time that this is not where he died, and that's why it looked a little bit off.
I don't know.
I don't honestly believe so, but I'm wondering if that's
so he's
what they
actually
were.
properly shoved into the corner though, and that isn't that's something you would expect someone to bother to do as they're trying to choke the person, rather than them being placed there and then shoved into a corner because corner. It was weak.
It was incredibly weak. Yes. I think then we're introduced to like the worst cop I think that we've found. A number of things about this guy. One, I think when we're first introduced to him, he's on the phone putting a bet against the team because this guy has just died. Right? He's talking to his bookie. Which I thought was funny. And then the fact that he didn't spot the fact that there was a watch in the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, what the hell? Also, he's not very good at measuring depth whatsoever because he barely rolls up his sleeve.
That was always going to happen. Like, that is a deep pool. He was always going to end up wetting his sleeve. But no, I did think that was quite funny. Again, I don't know if they meant it to be funny, but I found that whole thing.
They do bother to get Jessica's arm wet later in the same manner.
Yeah. But yeah, he's found it's a very weak case against the family guy. Oh, did I just get sued? But it is also the only case they've got.
Right. It's incredibly weak, but he left, and the watch is at the same time roughly as the guy died.
Yep.
We have that he came in and came out. He was the other one that did, except there was a private key.
Yep.
Though I did find the scene of Jessica sneaking in later to be amusing.
That was funny, yeah, because she suggested there was another way in, and clearly she decided to prove to herself that there was another way.
And that answer was just waiting for the jackass to go get a coffee.
Wait for the guard to turn around and then just sneak in, which I did think was funny.
Well, and how do you keep a good enough eye on the guard?
Well, I mean, her timing was fantastic because it looks like she just got there and then the guy went to get some coffee.
Yeah, but how could theoretically someone else do it? Did they know his coffee schedule? Oh wait, no,
because that's not what happened for the actual murder. And
yeah, because he drowned him there, and he would have taken the key with him to get in the back door.
And I think answers the question because he must have kept the key, right? Because while Jessica Fletcher is in there,
they mentioned the key was found on his body.
Oh, did they? But she was locked in the sauna. So how was he in the building the second time?
Great question.
And why was he there the second time?
Yeah.
The equipment manager being there,
think she was there
kind of makes sense. He's doing his job, whatever. A little bit convenient that he's there to save her, but makes a lot of sense. Why the murderer is there, I don't know. Idea. Right, doesn't make. And yeah, I assumed he must have still had the key because that must have been how he got in. Because
was it me or was the gauge the funniest thing you've ever seen?
Oh, for the sauna,
Yes.
the cold. This is fine. Death.
And how the death zone was like every zone was a third of it.
Every zone was a third, and the death zone was so big. And it took just like there was. I mean, what? He turned the thing maybe twice to get to the death zone? Like, yeah. I would hate to do any kind of delicate temperature changes in that sauna. And then, obviously, they were trying to show that it was hot air coming into the sauna, right?
Which was
It looked like she was being gassed.
Yeah.
Right?
And with it, that I feel like they should have bothered to try just a little bit more because she comes out relatively bone dry. There's no water, no dew starting or condensation starting to form any of the walls
Oh,
or the
there was
door.
nothing, but she wasn't in there long enough to ever be in any real peril.
Well, and she claims she was, losing the ability to breathe. No.
Like she was in
I
there
will
for
say,
all of 30 seconds, and then the equipment manager.
theoretically speaking,
Yeah.
that scene actually could be longer on the back end without them showing it. Like if she was in there for 5 minutes, you're not going to keep the camera on her for literally
it
5
could,
minutes.
but again, I think you would then show her coming, like you said, a little bit more disheveled, right? She would have been
Right.
drenched in sweat before anything else,
Right.
but and she wasn't. I
And her
love the
perm
fact.
ruined.
I love the fact that, and again, we're not really given a decent idea of size of this football ground. Okay, we know it's a football ground or a training ground, so it's got to be fairly big. But we're not given a really good idea of size. So I didn't really know how far the guard was meant to be away from the locker room. Right? And
It could be big enough.
I'm assuming there's no
Thinking about-
CCTV, whatever.
With high school football, it would almost be far enough that.
But
with not just college but professional ball, it would be big enough. Even
I know these things are big, but like I say, I don't think we were ever given an idea of scale of this place in the show itself.
I think that's intentional,
right?
because the audience is American.
Okay, yeah, I mean that is possibly true, but yeah, I like the fact that it was never even considered that the guard would have heard her shouting.
No,
right, which makes it weird that there's only one guard if it's such a big place. But anyway, I guess.
Well, and also only 2 entrances.
They're meant to be in a small town. And so yeah, so it's lucky that the equipment manager was there. Again, I think we're meant to find it suspicious that he's there at the stage to save her, because this was still during the we're trying to make everyone look guilty stage. And yeah, I didn't think that's it.
The fact that Mr. Dillon had to explain to her that the door wasn't stuck, someone locked you in there, but he doesn't gesture to the massive metal rod he just pulled out.
Yeah,
honestly, she would have known that she was barricaded. But you would have also said that while holding the thing, rather than putting it against the wall and it being just nothing. Also, oh wait, I do know what that's for. That's a bench press bar.
Yeah, it's a dumbbell bent. Yeah, but one of those bars. Yeah.
Bench press.
I think possibly he would have put it down because of his injury.
But that's a limp, not with his arm.
No, but I think it's given. I think you're given the impression that it hurts him regardless of what he's doing.
Fair.
So I think he may have found it uncomfortable, or maybe even difficult to lift that kind of weight. And that's kind of why he put it to the side. But yes, you would have thought you would have at least pointed to it.
We have skipped some scenes, like the topless massage.
Oh yeah, the pointless wife.
Yes.
I forgot about the pointless wife, because pointless wife was pointless. Yeah. So the guy who got murdered was going through a divorce. And as far as I could tell, the way he got divorced in 1985 is he had to go to Vegas for 2 months. And that was it. But she'd only been there 30 days.
I'm not fully sure what all that's supposed to be. But I do know in the States, no-fault divorce is actually relatively new, which means either like separation for a time would have to happen or abuse would have to be recorded. So it could be something along the lines of
to be, but
you have to be separated this long.
It was so poorly explained that it just felt like, no, you just go to Vegas for 2 months and then you're divorced. Okay, fine. So she's off in Vegas. She comes back because she's due to get the inheritance from the husband.
Because he left no will.
Well, again, I don't know how much of that I believe, but again, I think this is me looking more into it, because that attorney is clearly dodgy as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I could also see, theoretically, if he stalled out and let the marriage or divorce go through, he could have potentially tried to claim it and claim that there was a will that left it to him.
Maybe.
And spitefully left out the wife.
I mean, that's
He would
possible.
have copies of his signature
Yes,
to be able to copy and forge.
But yeah, it was and yes, you're given the impression that the wife would not have tried to fight that because
Right.
she was shown to be incredibly ignorant of all this kind of stuff. So yeah, possibly, but yeah, so there was that scene again. I don't really know why they brought the ex-wife into it.
So honestly, it might have just been to have the commercial cut with the woman holding the gun shadow.
Maybe.
That might have been the whole reason.
Maybe. So have we missed anything else? They have the party. She talks to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another scene? Oh no, that's them finding the body.
She does bother to accuse Mr. Dillon of, and it's funny because I don't think she actually, even in the slightest, was trying to accuse him of knowing the combination and pulling the watch out, but he takes it as an immediate accusation.
Yes,
or at
yes,
least,
no, I agree with that. I don't think that's how she meant it.
And if she did a horrible job acting that out.
So I then believe there's a scene where the father dude is in the police station and he's answering questions.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the topless massage.
Mm-hmm.
Then are you back in the hotel with the mother?
There is a scene I want to discuss that is profoundly stupid. It's the scene where they start to get in where the footballers start to get in a fight on the pitch, and it's right around here, right? Or am I misthinking? But
no,
they turn
it is.
into
It
just
is.
a brawl.
I believe that there is the scene where the mother of the child comes in to convince Jessica Fletcher that the husband didn't do it. Right in the hotel, which is when she really gets interested in the case, and then I think it gets to that football scene. I can't remember why the fight started.
Jessica waved, and a guy waves back, and he gets tackled.
Oh, that's right. You wave at the comic relief, and then there's comic relief. That's right.
It sucked.
And
that kind of shit might happen with opposing teams, but this is the same team's offense and defense.
And yeah, there's
there can be some friendly rivalry within a football team of its offense versus its defense. That will happen because they are very separate teams in how they operate and what their goals are. But come on, guys, that's just stupid.
Yeah, but it because it even had like the stupid brawl music as well, right?
Yeah, well, and they bother to step over his not dead body in the most. What was the scene for? Why?
And you got Jessica Fletcher runs in, arms waving. I honestly don't know. I think it was just for comic relief.
Shit.
Because I think they put a couple of those in. Then she talks to the coach. I think that's when we find out that he used to work with the uncle. Like they were around the same time. He sold his shares ages ago. Is that also the scene where it's indicated that she's looking at the footballer's penis?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Again, I think that's meant to be more comic relief.
And the fact that he didn't know why he had such a perplexed look on his face, I don't think she even realized theoretically that he was undressed, because she seems to be more surprised about it at the end than immediately.
Yes.
But come on, you're going to notice that the peripheral vision will tell you there's not a towel there. And I'm a lady and he's a guy and this is a locker room. This is not going to be comfortable.
Yes. And then I think we get to the awkward skeet shooting scene.
Which again,
so who's there? You've got the murderer, the sheriff, and
the trustee. I don't know who he's supposed to be.
The trustee. Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
What the fuck is he supposed to be?
I don't know. But he misses his shot because of Jessica Fletcher.
Which again is half-assed physical comedy. Also, he mentions he can't bet and like.
Oh, he's the commissioner. He's the commissioner. He's the football commissioner. That's who he is.
What the fuck's a commissioner?
He's the commish. So he'll be like the one who like runs the whole league, kind of thing. Make sure the rules are followed for the whole league. That's who he is. I'd honestly forgotten about the football commissioner.
You are correct on that.
But yes, he's the commissioner. So because he also tries to get he is the one I think who tries to get Jessica Fletcher to sell to the people who own the other 48%. Now that I think about it, Because he wants the team to stay where it is, and he will not let it move. He even says he'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court if he has to.
It's just weird.
So yeah, I'd actually forgotten about the commish.
I don't think you have. Like, you have the owners and then you have the coach, is how it is today. And then a commissioner would be over the entire league of, like, the NFL.
Yes, I think that's who this guy is. I think he's meant to be the commissioner of the whole league, or one of them of the whole league, and he will not let the thing move out of town.
Why is he so invested in this podunk town? I thought he would be like the commissioner of the town or something along those lines.
I think he's meant to live there. No, because it's indicated that he cannot bet on the team, so he clearly has to be impartial for the whole league.
That's fair.
So he must be the commissioner of the league. Now, whether or not he lives in this town with the Leopards, maybe he once played for them. I honestly don't know. Like I say, as a character, I'd completely forgotten about him. So whatever they tried to build up with him, I don't know.
They built a bad haircut.
There was a bad haircut, but yes, he was the he was the old commish. And that is when I think
do a great job.
Oh yeah, no, go on.
They don't do a great job actually shouldering their rifles to shoot, to do the skeet shooting.
No, but he's shown to be a good shot.
I know.
Which would have had some relevance. Which would have had some relevance if the guy had been shot while flying through the air, but that's not how he was murdered. So I don't really understand the point of this. I think again, it was a scene trying to make you, because they're trying to make everybody feel guilty, right? They're trying to throw everybody at you. And I think that was this is why the commish may have done it scene.
At a bare minimum, this is establishing this as the old boys club, because skeet shooting this is the wealthy old boys.
Yes.
From Money Club.
Yes, and you got the sheriff there, who again I think he seems to bet on everything, because I think he was betting on the skeet shooting as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were trying to like come up with that possibly the sheriff could have been the murderer because he had a gambling problem and was in debt. I don't know if that was something they were trying to set up, or again, I've just read too much into it.
It was supposed to be something. What that something was, I don't know.
So yeah, she then gets locked in. You're not sure if she's locked in by the equipment manager or not.
No. Well, this is after she does establish that it would be rather easy to jimmy open Mr. Farrell's locker.
Yes, because she snuck in, she's opened the locker. So she's proven two things. One, you can get in without being seen by the terrible security guard who's probably going to lose his job now. And two, yes, you can get into those lockers, no problem.
Why was she in there? What was she looking for with her flashlight?
Why did she go into the sauna? I don't know. I don't think there was any reason. Oh, no. I think it's because she hears something. Right? So again, you're meant to believe that there is somebody in that room with her. Why? I don't know. But she hears something, and then she goes in there with her torch out for some reason. It can only be so she can get caught in there, right?
Yeah, yes, that's fair, but
it's a plot device, and yes, in terms of the plot
device,
it doesn't make any sense why she goes in there. Because as far as I'm concerned, she's proven the two things she wanted to prove, which is you can get in there without the key and being seen,
and it's not that hard to
and you
break
can
the lock.
Open the lockers basically just by pulling on them.
The other thing that she would be trying to do, if she's there, is figure out where that noise comes from, because she's almost certainly going to assume that the murderer's here to do things again, because that's who Jessica is. But it still doesn't beg the question why she... Like, you'd open the door, you'd see it was a sauna, you'd glance around the corners while holding the door open, and then you'd go to the next spot. They don't even give her anything that she's supposed to look at in there.
No.
It's not even that dim.
No, there's nothing in there. There's no real...
Nothing.
Like, there's no reason why she would be looking for evidence in there.
Right.
The only other thing I can think of is that possibly she goes to hide in there, because she just goes straight in.
Yeah, but if you're going in there to hide, you're going to keep the window in eyes view. That way you know.
What I will say is I'm watching this back. I think this might be a lost in TV kind of moment, because as she runs in and you look in the little window, it is pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it is meant to be completely dark in there, so she gets the torch out so she can see at all.
And that's fine.
Now, why she runs in there in the first place, I don't know. And then why you have this torch going over the wall and the weird, what is meant to be light fixture, whatever it is, I also don't know, because there's nothing to see there.
Watch back on the dial. He doesn't have to spin it twice. He's just very lazy and wants to spin it ever so slowly.
But yeah, that dial, I think, was the highlight. No, there is another highlight of this episode, which you haven't got it to yet. But no, that dial was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, the whole getting trapped in the sauna scene, other than indicating that, because I think at this stage, the father guy is still in prison.
I think so.
Right? So I think this is meant to be the scene where you definitely clear him because someone else is now trying to kill Jessica Fletcher. Also, how did that get her stuck?
It swings inward, and because it's going through the handle and then touching the door
so
frame.
yeah, it does swing inwards. But yes, the cold normal danger dial is absolutely fantastic.
That's how every dial should be.
And then yeah, as is the smoke. And then I believe it's the drive home with the equipment manager where we find out that's why he got injured. Because again, you're trying to give him reason to kill the guy.
Which is again really weak because I don't know, his character to me isn't threatening. He never has one. He doesn't like the dude, but
no, he doesn't like the dude, but he does have good reason to want him dead. But why he would do it then doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah. So then there's another comic relief scene with I don't know who this guy is meant to be, where they do the exercise thing. Like, is he a coach or is he a player? Is he both? I honestly don't know.
They slate him as the defensive coach, but he also does appear in the jersey running out to the field at one or later on. So.
Yeah. Is he not also the one who gets knocked out?
No.
Is he not the one who waves? I think he's the one who waves, isn't he?
I don't have the patience to fully scrub back through.
But anyway,
I guess so.
It doesn't matter. And I can't remember what kind of clue they was given there, if any.
No, I just think that was just comic relief.
Because it was all like, oh yeah, you look old, well preserved, and all this kind of nonsense.
Which was just shite.
So then we're shown that, the guy is out in the next scene, so maybe he was out the night before. I don't know.
Someone did post bail for him, which also, again, doesn't make the most sense.
Oh yeah, who posted bail for him?
And then the commissioner comes to visit her after she's just stuck her arm in water. Oh, and everyone keeps threatening her with football's dangerous.
Football is dangerous. It's very dangerous. So then I think the scene before where they're in this thing is where Jessica Fletcher finds out about the dodgy adoption, and that they're being threatened. Then there's
he just says it's personal. I don't think they say why.
No, they did. At this time, they definitely do. Yes, because it's when
okay.
Because you're meant to go away from that scene thinking the attorney is clearly the one who's behind it, because he is the one who arranged the adoption and is clearly dodgy as hell. Right. So I think at this stage, you're clearly meant to be thinking it's the slime ball attorney. Because then we get to the Angela Lansbury in a bath. PTSD for me, but it's fine. And the commissioner comes to the hotel, right?
Uh-huh.
And what did he say?
He says football's dangerous, both on the field and off. It's just more threatening is all I
think he also talks about the investor, doesn't he?
I don't remember caring enough to know.
Yes.
I was to some extent.
This is when he talks about the investor, and I think it's when she actually possibly mentions the guy who was the murderer, and is where you find out he's the one who owns all the shares. I honestly don't know. It's all very awkward. But then we get to, she basically just walked into the murdered guy's house, right? While shouting up the stairs.
Yep.
And she goes into what must be the most hideous bathroom I have ever seen in my life.
I do know. I believe I'm most positive this was the era though of carpeted bathroom.
I'm not even talking about the carpeted bathroom. I'm talking about the black marble,
and
the
the blue
ugly
tub.
ass wallpaper, and the blue tub, blue toilet, and blue sink. It's all blue.
That's just in case you need to blow it all out at your backside or your front side or.
And then it
your
is.
outside.
Yeah, it is a hideous bathroom. You get the shadow with the gun on the wall scene. And she walks in.
They say they're going to call the cops.
That tub. How uncomfortable would it be to have a bath in that tub? Unless you're 2 foot.
It's been a long time since
I
any bath.
don't even believe you could drown the guy in that tub.
I mean, you definitely could, but he would be over the side and you'd be holding his face in. The second half of his body would be out of water.
Yes.
And yet that is too small and it's okay for normal tubs to be too small because they always have a shower attached to them, and therefore who cares?
Yeah.
Just stand up, jackass. There's no shower head for that one.
No.
It's just sitting there.
I don't know if there's meant to be like a shower the other side of the bathtub, because obviously it's just in the middle of the room. This tiny bath. So possibly behind it is meant to be more like a wet room shower type idea. I don't know.
So it doesn't excuse the bathtub being that small.
It is. Oh my god! It's just a terrible, terrible bathroom. Like, and again, I want to point out that one of the key clues that leads to them solving this mystery is that the floor by the bathtub in a bathroom is wet. So
it is sopping wet, which is of note, but how far past I feel like at least a day
This is passed. At least a day has passed, and it is still wet. And yeah, like you said, it is sopping wet, but I would say
also would be like
that would lead me more towards there's a plumbing problem or a drainage issue.
Right.
Oh dear.
Even if you were drowning someone,
yeah,
you're gonna get a lot of water right where you're doing that, but not enough so that the whole floor is soaked. And to keep the whole floor soaked for as long as would be needed for it to be wet when she got there,
yeah,
you would have to basically flood the room. And
yeah, you would have had to take all of the water out of the bathtub and keep the tap running till just before they got there.
Once carpet's holding onto a decent volume of water, it's going to stay pretty wet.
Oh dear, but no, I thought that was this is the big clue. The carpet is wet, which I just thought was absolutely hilarious in this blue tub with blue windows.
Go ahead.
No.
The next scene, we're at the. Okay, so I'm skipping ahead. Jessica makes the phone call to the murderer.
No. Before we do that,
okay.
Can I talk about the awful speech the coach gives to the football team?
Uh-huh.
Only you can decide if you're losers. Fuck off. Is basically the speech.
Also, the way they walk out of the room, going between all the owners, just kind of standing there looking at them.
Yeah.
What?
This is the most depressed team we've ever seen in my life. They ain't going to win. And I think you then see the sheriff making another bet as well.
Yes. That's how you know he's a good person.
That's how you know he's a good person. And then... Because when is it she actually works out who it is?
It's actually while they're...
she finds the pictures. That's right.
Yes.
She finds the picture on the wall. And the final clue,
Two pictures.
and again, I just want to point out that I don't know why, because again, it's another big confession, big reveal where if he just kept his mouth shut, he would have got away with it. I don't know why he was pushed to say anything.
Cocky people can brag and think, I've essentially already gotten away with the murder. You figured it out. But
I get that, and I also get the fact that he clearly had it in his mind that he was going to kill Jessica Fletcher.
He takes his sweet fucking time.
So it doesn't really matter. But again, all he had to do was say nothing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he has to explain why when he got this weird phone call from a clearly not Jessica Fletcher.
And he's met her and danced with her.
Danced her, spoken. They'd spoken literally 5 minutes before she makes that phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and yet he doesn't realize that that's Jessica Fletcher on the other end of the phone line. I mean, come on.
Yeah, at most you're looking at 30 minutes ahead of time.
Well, no, I guess maybe a lot longer because she's had to go. I'm assuming she's gone to his house.
With how games are played, the timing, halftime takes roughly 30 minutes to get to, and I think when the police officer turns on the TV, they're most of the way through but he's got to drive to his house, get up there. So,
well, because Jessica
Jessica
Fletcher has had to have left the stadium, gone to the murderer's house to talk to his butler or wherever it was, to find out that the jacket had gone to dry cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then make the phone call and leave, and then get to the other guy's house. So yeah, there is some time that has happened.
Well, and I don't think the butler would have let her use the house phone to make that call.
I don't know. The butler has already told you. Oh yeah, he definitely put that jacket in for dry cleaning. Not fuck off, you nosy bitch. So maybe he would.
Good.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. And then, okay. So let's say, and again, it's a small town. So although I guess the butler may take the stuff to the dry cleaners, I would also question why would the dry cleaner phone me at the stadium in the box? How would they know that number? Why would this be such an urgent thing that I need to tell you this right now?
They would call the house to let him know, or to let the butler know,
we didn't lose it. Yeah. Right? So I would be questioning that. And then I think if it was me, and I've accepted that, I would probably go to the dry cleaner to pick up the thing, right? To see if there's buttons missing first. Because no one else knows about the missing button. There's no reason why the police are going to go over to that guy's house to find the missing button, right? And he's got time.
Why would the cops also go along with Jessica for this? He unnecessarily confesses, but how is the two photos, and if he comes home looking for a button, a murder?
Yeah.
I mean, we do establish this is a pretty useless police officer or police chief.
He is a useless police, whatever he's meant to be. So the three clues are that he can't if he wasn't murdered at the stadium, so many more people are suspects. Because rather than having to do that, I think they said it was like an hour and a half round trip from stadium to where the party was. It's basically a 10-minute round trip. So suddenly lots of people are suddenly suspects. Right.
But we've already established that to some real extent with Jessica saying you could sneak in here. So
no, but that's to the stadium, and the stadium is an hour and a half round trip. Right. And I think the guy who murdered him only disappears from the party for about half an hour.
Right.
Right. So if the murder happens at the stadium, it can't be him. So you have to establish that the murder happened somewhere a lot closer. Right. Which they do because he's murdered in the house, and all of these houses are apparently right next to each other. I don't know if it means that the party is being held at this guy's house, because the sequence of events is that in about 20 minutes, half an hour, he goes to this guy, murders him, goes
In his
home,
own home?
swaps his. He
Oh
murdered,
wait, no.
no. He murders the guy in the murdered guy's home.
Yeah, I was misremembering.
Types out a note twice because he got the first one wrong. Pins it to a door.
He got it wet, which I did find a
got
bit
it wet.
funny.
That was a little bit funny. That's right. He got it wet. Pins it to the door. Goes to his house to change his jacket, and then makes it back to the party.
It will be a long party, but
yes, but again, the whole point is that the whole reason why it had to be close is so that the time that he was gone becomes a lot shorter. And I don't think they ever specify what that new time frame is in particular. I think they do say like the house is 5-10 minutes away, but then when you add everything together that he would have had to have done, it would still have taken quite some time, right?
Yeah.
If he's doing all of it, and it's then established that he then takes the dead body afterwards, and puts it in the whirlpool thing to be found in the stadium, and he got the key from the dead guy because the dead guy had the key. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
do they bother to check to see if the murdered guy's door is locked or unlocked when they? Because they find the key on him, which would mean that murderer used dead guy's key to get in. But how do you most doors require the actual key to relock it?
No, I would imagine that's more of a security door, so I'd imagine that would probably lock as soon as it shuts.
Gotcha. Never mind.
On the stadium, I would have imagined. But yeah, no, it was a good point. And then obviously when they go into the house, the wife is there, so the door is already open. But yeah, and then so obviously he got his blazer wet, but then again, they're having a party in a place that's got a swimming pool. So why not?
People are drinking.
And people are drinking. So why not just turn up in your wet jacket and say "fucking swimming pool bastards"?
Yeah. Or say someone spilled their drink on you.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. Or just take it off. Right. Take it off. Oh, it got soaked because of the swimming pool. Right. Again, it's because you have to give Jessica Fletcher clues to find so she can solve the case. But
they're shit clues.
They are shit clues in this one, and I think that's the problem. They do not a great job, but I think they do a fairly good job of introducing a number of people of who it possibly could have been. Mm-hmm. Right? There are enough potential suspects that you are kind of left wondering who is it going to be. I do not think they did anything to indicate that it was going to be this guy in the end, which is why I thought it was this guy, because they were basically ignoring him for the entirety of the show. So it's not I've worked this out because the show has given me the clues I need. Because even if
the show has ignored this,
even if he had changed his jacket, so what?
That's not enough.
Especially if it's his. I don't know if it's meant to be his house. I don't know whose house the party is at. I don't know if it's the commissioner's house. I don't know if it's his house. I have no idea whose house the party was at. I know they did tell us, and I could look back and it would tell me, but I don't care that much. But yes, the fact that, and then again, Jessica Fletcher walks in. He's searching down the drain to see if he can find this button, which I don't know why he brought it hook, line, and sinker that the button was lost on the jacket.
Right.
I really don't, because again, if he's got the butler, he seems like the kind of person who would not deal with dry cleaning, and would just say, "Take this up with my butler." And again, why the phone call would have come through urgently to the box while he's watching the football game, I don't understand. It clearly smells of setup. Don't fall for this. Yeah. And then thirdly, how you don't know that's Jessica Fletcher on the other end of the line if you've ever spoken to her, I also don't understand.
It's when you get a call that weird, you're going to notice the voice. You're going to pay more attention to it because what the fuck is going on here? This is not normal.
So then we get to the scene. He's got his hands down the drain because he's looking for this button. Again, if it's down the drain, the police are probably never even going to look for it or search for it.
Right.
Right. He knows who the cop is. You would imagine very well because they're part of. They were skeet shooting together, right?
Yeah.
So why would you ever believe that the cop would go to the trouble to take the bathtub out, go through that drain all the way through. Because again, the only clue Jessica Fletcher has got to go to the sheriff with is the floor was damp. You're going to laugh her out the office.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that goes to your point, is why did he accompany her to the house for this possible confession that he never should have given?
That's the only thing where the cop being useless actually kind of works. Because if he's that incompetent, then he's just going to, sure, whatever, I don't know. I don't have any ideas. I'm stupid.
Maybe.
And
but
I know that this,
I don't see the reason why I don't agree with that is because I think he would have told Jessica Fletcher to fuck off because he wanted to watch the football game.
That's right. That's right. Because he immediately tries to turn it back on.
Because he immediately turns it on because he's disappointed he's missed the football game. So what in Jessica Fletcher's story convinced him to leave the football game and do this thing? It makes no sense.
She would have had to lie about the evidence that she thought she had for him, and that
maybe, but I don't think that sheriff would have gone. I think that sheriff would have said, "We'll do it later."
No, yeah,
after the game. I do not think he would have left that game because he's clearly got a lot of money riding on it, right?
So, why did they bother to do this during the game?
I don't know. It makes absolutely no sense. So again, the whole resolution, and again, this is the one thing I really hope Murder, She Wrote improves upon is the pacing of an episode. Because I honestly think with the amount of people that they put up as potential suspects and the reasoning and all that kind of stuff, I think they had the basis for a good case here. Right? But then it gets to the end where they basically explain everything at the end for this one. Because it's very hard to have guessed unless you noticed that he did swap jacket at the party. I think that's the only thing you could have ever seen yourself as a viewer to pick up on the fact that it's this guy. Other than the fact they just left him alone, and that's kind of like a trope. But yeah, the confession at the end, just how comically evil out of nowhere he becomes when Jessica Fletcher is explaining what happened. He has not come across as a particularly nice guy, but he hasn't come across as laughably comically, I'm going to burn the house down with you in it, which is the threat he gives, kind of guy. Right?
So, burning down the house, like, why is... I don't know, part of me feels like that wouldn't actually work to get people off his case.
I think, especially, I mean, okay, he wouldn't know that Jessica Fletcher's got many friends, and it would probably attract many of these good detectives that we've seen in the past. If Jessica Fletcher is burnt down in the house, I think we can accept that he wouldn't know that. But
and it would probably give him the, theoretically speaking, at this point in the episode, still the only good candidate from the police's perspective is Zach Farrell.
Yes.
And burning the house down would give evidence that it probably wasn't, because you can almost guarantee he has an alibi of not being there.
Yes, 100%. And the fact that you've burnt the house down clearly shows that something was going on. Unless you're going to try and make it that Jessica Fletcher accidentally set fire to the house for some reason. But
no one's going to believe that.
You know what I mean? So no.
Also, how's he planning on burning the house down? Because, like, is he going to lock her in the bathroom and then start the fire somewhere else? Because the floor's still soaked, supposedly.
No, I think he was going to kill her first.
And
then set the house on fire. But he also must have... Actually, I don't know. Was the wife in the house at that point? No, she'd gone to a motel. She went to a motel at the end of the thing where she first goes into the terrible bathroom. Yes, because again,
a death happened here.
The wife was completely pointless. But yeah, I think the only evidence that Jessica Fletcher could have given to the sheriff is the wet carpet, and that somehow convinced him
that she was there for two reasons. one, to hold the pistol in the shadow, and two, for it to be a woman rather, because thus far all we've seen are the guys,
Yes.
and we haven't really thought about a woman as a suspect, and so this makes the audience think, wait, is there a woman that's been doing things that I don't know who it is? Maybe it's the wife of
Okay, maybe.
Farrell.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think it was just to bring all those questions of intrigue
Maybe.
during
Yeah.
the commercial intermission and make the family start debating what's going on, and then have it be a nothing burger.
But this is the whole point, I think, with this episode, is I don't think there was anything for the family to debate at this time.
Who was the woman?
Okay, maybe. But
in
yeah,
the shadow.
I don't, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't think this episode gave you anything
No.
to really work on, which I found disappointing.
Yes.
But
the only thing they bothered to do is establish that everyone has a motive, but not
yes.
any of the stuff of how it happened, why it happened, or well, why it happened, but what were the
again,
logistics about pulling this off?
Can I be honest? I'm not even sure why this guy murdered him.
Yeah, because it doesn't make it clear how he's going to get more power over the team if he kills him, which is what is supposed to be his motive.
Yeah. Because he, I don't understand that at all.
I guess he doesn't know how shady of a guy the lawyer is, but you'd figure this kind of person would know that lawyer.
I did like in the reveal scene the reference to one of the early episodes of Murder, She Wrote.
Yes, episode 4.
I did like that with the whole button thing. I thought that was kind of cute. Oh, yes, there is a shower. In the scene where there's the confessing, there is a shower behind the bath.
Does it show whether or not there's actually tile there and a proper separation between the shower and the carpet?
No, all you see is it's just like a shower enclosure.
Okay. Then that would actually keep the water separate, but still. It still doesn't answer why you have a tub there.
No, I don't know why you've had
baby tub.
that terrible bathtub there.
And why it's blue. When we see the shower, do we see that it's blue?
The shower is blue, yes. The shower is blue.
Well, okay, I can work with that. At least that's acceptable. The rest of the episode, I was not sold on this episode.
No, nor was I. I kind of went in because I feel it started off, okay, apart from the incredibly contrived why I'm here scene, I actually thought it started off fairly well. You've got the being run over by the kid. You've got the kind of heartwarming stuff with that. You've got this clearly dodgy lawyer. You've got this asshole of a guy who owns 48% of the company. And you've got all these people who are constantly trying to buy shares from Jessica Fletcher. And I was like, okay,
it's intriguing.
This is intriguing. This is getting somewhere. There's then the weird party, which is obviously trying to set up that the murder happened during the party. So this is where you have to, if you're trying to work out who did it, you have to work back to the party and who was there and who left and blah, 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 blah. But that whole scene was quite weird. I then don't really feel Jessica Fletcher did anything to prove anybody was innocent.
Nope.
Do you know what I mean?
Which is what she's done every other time.
Which is what she normally does. Yes, like I don't. But even just going through the other suspects, I don't think there was anything to kind of say, okay, I've looked into the lawyer, but he was doing something else. It couldn't have been him.
Right.
Right. Do you know what I mean? So when you're at home watching this episode and you're trying to put the clues together yourself, I would say there were no clues whatsoever.
The only real clue you have is that it can't be the guy because Jessica says it's not, and because they basically show how he would have done it, or when he would have gotten away with doing it.
Yes, so, but I don't think you've got any clues whatsoever at the end of this one to try and work out who it is. So when it is then revealed, because she's got a picture of a guy at a party who just so happened to wear two jackets. And I think they're meant to be two jackets that looked almost exactly the same, but one of them was double-breasted and one of them was single.
Right.
Like, I don't even think they went as obvious as it was a different color or anything like that.
One was gray, the other was black, but it's not enough to care.
And then what I also don't understand is why the football team wins.
That's just heartwarming.
And then no, the heartwarming bit is when she gives the shares to the kid at the end.
Right, but they think the audience cares about both.
But yeah, like I didn't understand what was meant to have happened to have made that team suddenly come back. It's not like they suddenly knew this guy had been arrested, right, and the murder was solved, right? Which would have been contrived, but would have made a little bit more sense story wise.
I could see them just being too excited that he's dead, and they don't have to deal with him anymore.
Maybe that's all it was. But then
the coach would have given a better speech.
Yes, because again, if they'd done like a halftime, the coach has rallied them around kind of speech. Even that I could have brought anything, but no, they win out of nowhere, and then
that's a nod to any men who might be watching the episode because of their wives. And they'd rather be watching football, but they can feel happy that the team won.
The sheriff wasn't happy.
Right.
And then, yeah, we get the heartwarming scene. So the guy who can no longer play football is now a part owner / coach.
How did he get
the
shares?
I don't know how he got the shares. I don't know.
And then for some reason, giving a small child 4% of the shares so that her dad doesn't have a controlling interest in the team. He has to ask his daughter, except that's never how that fucking works.
No, I can kind of see why Jessica Fletcher would have put them in trust for the daughter, because she's done that kind of thing before.
Yes.
You know, she earns enough money herself. She doesn't really care about money that much.
But this is a point in history, speaking wise, where the parent, even if Jessica put it in a trust, the bank's going to let him make all the shots. Because it's his daughter.
It would have depended. No, because it would have depended who the trustee was. Clearly, it wasn't any of the family members. So you would have had to go to the trustee. I don't think I mean trustee. I think the trustee is the girl. But whoever,
I think so.
Whoever was, because somebody would have been put in charge, because it's in a trust, somebody has to make sure that everything is done in the benefit of that trust, for the benefit of that trust. So it'd be for the benefit of the girl. So whoever would have made the decisions would have been the person named on that trust. No, it's the trustee, because she'd be the beneficiary. It would be the trustee who would make the decisions, who could still be Jessica Fletcher. We don't know.
But we've also established that that she thinks the sun shines out of his ass. So
yes,
just like every other innocent.
Yes, but I'm also. Oh no! It said that he went in with a group of people to buy the 48%.
Okay.
I think they do say that at some point. So
from who?
I'm assuming they bought them from the estate of the guy who died, or maybe the guy who now is in prison.
It can only be from the guy in prison.
I don't know.
Because the guy who died, the ex-wife she's going to get those shares.
So she may have sold them, but the guy is in prison. I do not believe you lose all of your assets just because you go to prison for murder.
No, you don't.
I don't know. So so I don't know why he would have sold them. He wouldn't have been able to vote, one would imagine. I don't know, because he couldn't attend the meetings.
He could send a proxy.
He could send a proxy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know where the shares came from. I don't know where they brought them from. But it was a very heartwarming moment. And again, you know, Jessica Fletcher, heart of gold kind of thing. But
and he would lose. So if he got the other 48% of the shares because of the murder, he'd lose them. But he wouldn't lose his 48%.
No. So yeah, I don't understand what happened there. And again, I don't want to watch it back to see if they actually explain it in any meaningful way.
Well, the town's small enough that the beneficiary is probably one of the people who chipped in to buy the team. Or the trustee, excuse me.
Well, you would imagine the trustee would be the attorney. But you would also imagine that Jessica Fletcher...
It can't be that attorney.
Well, there's only one attorney in that town as far as I can work out. But so you would imagine Jessica Fletcher has done it through somebody she knows.
It'd have to be.
Through Cabot Cove.
That guy...
There's also no way
he's scum.
There's also no way the trust could have been established by then, so it must be a statement of intention.
Yeah,
that she's going to put them into trust. But Yes, it's very heartwarming, but again, didn't make a lot of sense.
I felt like it was supposed to be heartwarming, but it was actually just stupid.
Yeah, but again, I think they do that quite a lot. Like so many things are meant to be funny, and they just come across as stupid.
And for some of this, I don't think it's just because it's dated and that things have changed that much now. I think this would have come off weak then too, for at least some of it.
I think the thing with especially with the comedy, is there are times in Murder, She Wrote where the comedy just comes out of nowhere and is incredibly earned, right? And it has made me laugh, right? But in this one, the comedy all seemed forced.
It was weak. Also, what was the obsession of the defensive lineman with being a photographer as well? That was just odd.
Well, because you needed the clues for later on.
It could have been literally anyone else.
No, it had to be that guy because he was the comic relief.
Weak.
Yeah, weak. But I think better than last week's.
I don't even remember last week's at this point. They're not.
That's fair.
They're not doing good enough jobs to keep me interested or to keep.
It was.
It's not sticking around in long-term memory because
Oh shit!
tough guys don't
was?
die.
Yeah, what was that about?
Oh, this was.
Was he in the mafia? No.
The 3 cases, and one of them that was very old was being discussed.
Right. They introduced us to the private eye character guy. Yeah.
And all 3 lines are basically solved in the saddest, shittiest way possible.
Yes. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I liked the story better on that one, but all the conclusions were. Yeah, but then again, this conclusion was horribly earned.
This conclusion was horrible as well, but I think this had more potential. The trouble with last week's is that it did not feel like a Murder, She Wrote episode. It felt like Jessica Fletcher was just tacked on to the end for no apparent reason. Whereas this one, it felt more like a Murder, She Wrote episode. It had its comedy moments, it had its Jessica Fletcher Heart of Gold, a fairly bad case. So I think I enjoyed it more from that perspective.
Which is absolutely fair.
But I don't think they've done a good episode since whichever episode it was that we watched where we said this was a good episode.
And I'm not willing to watch back through them and figure out which one it was.
Because there was one. It definitely wasn't last week's or the week before. Because the week before was the painting one, which wasn't bad, but had its own issues.
Murder to a Jazz Beat was also pretty peculiar, though.
Yes.
Why is she down there and he's getting fired? Oh no, he's not.
Yeah.
And he was poisoned, I think.
He was
from the cup that she takes, except it was actually on the gum.
No, it was on the reed of the instrument.
That's right. That's right. And the weird other guy.
Yeah. I'm sure we enjoyed one once.
One of the ones that I remember quite enjoying, the KGB operative.
Oh yeah, the ballet one.
I guess that would have been.
That was the ballet one.
Would it be Broadway Malady? I think is what that one was then. Or is that Death Takes a Curtain Call?
I think it was Death Takes a Curtain Call. Broadway Malady, I think, was. Oh fuck! I don't know.
You see how well written these are that they stick in our mind for.
All I really remember is there was one I kind of enjoyed, but it didn't make a lot of sense when the dad turns up on a boat, and then the 3 daughters.
Wasn't that Deadly Lady though? That was early.
That was really early. It's like episode 2 or episode 3 or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think it's 3 because 3 was Birds of a Feather, and that gives me. I think that's the one that we hated the most. I don't know. But,
yeah.
No, you're right. It wasn't Broadway Malady. Broadway Malady was about the up-and-coming daughter, the has-been mother.
Yes, that's right.
Brother doing the weird shooting, and whether or not he would have had a gun with him or any of that jazz.
I honestly don't know what Hooray for Homicide was.
I remember having fun with the name of that one for that episode.
Is Hooray for Homicide the one where they go to the amusement park?
With the weird dude owner? And
No, that's We're Off to Kill the Wizard.
yeah.
Hooray for Homicide is the one where her book has been made into a movie, into a terrible, terrible movie.
Oh yeah.
It's a Dog's Life.
I think was
the
one
fox
I ran
hunting with the horses, which you didn't like.
So much wrong with that episode.
Lovers and Other Killers was the one with the really good murderer who wasn't the murderer. The young male secretary.
Yeah, the thing that could have been the separate pilot, but was just Creep Show International.
Hit Run and Homicide, I think, is the one with the driverless car.
Yes, it is.
We're Off to Kill the Wizard is the
Theme park.
thing. Death Takes a Curtain Call is the ballet. Death Casts a Spell must be the one about the hypnotist.
Yes. It is.
Capital Offense was the one where she becomes a senator for a week.
Yes.
Broadway Malady, yeah, we talked about that one. Murder to a Jazz Beat. My Johnny Lies Over the Ocean was when on the cruise. Okay, just going through them like that, I don't know which is the one that we both liked. I know there was one.
That's a great fucking question.
But just going through the list like that, yeah, I honestly can't remember which one I've liked. But anyway.
We did kind of like Paint Me a Murder a bit.
I enjoyed Paint Me a Murder, apart from the fact it had a few...
There were some serious plot holes.
A few plot holes. Like, yeah, because the start I thought was good. The ending where they do the incredibly choreographed, everybody walks in at the right time thing is still a highlight.
Art. That absolute art, cinema.
But
whatever the kids are saying these days.
But yeah. Yeah. All right, anyway. That was episode 17. I don't think they're getting better.
Nope. I think we had cautious optimism when we came back from that 2-week break, and it was, relatively speaking, better. But
yeah, because there was an absolutely terrible one. Which, again, I can't remember which one we thought was absolutely terrible, but there was an absolutely terrible one, and then we came back to the one after it, and it wasn't that bad.
I think it was Broadway Malady was the shit one, and at least Murder to a Jazz Beat had intriguing music.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
And enough suspense to actually be worth it.
But yeah, I do not think they're getting better.
I'm starting to think if we just jump seasons to see if it gets good.
I think this is what we should do. We finish off season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watch season 2. Season 1 may improve, although I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
We do 3 episodes into season 2 to see if there's any hint of improvement. And if there isn't, we then skip and do a few episodes of season 3.
Okay, I can
see if there's any improvement. And then if there isn't, we just give up on the whole fucking thing. And
so, if there's not any in season 3, I say we jump to season 10. Try the first episode. Because I think, 10 will be before it fully fell off.
So the reason I say we give it to at least season 3 is because there are so many shows that it takes until season 3 for it to find its footing. Right. So I don't, unless there is marked improvement towards the end of season 1, I don't know if I can make it through a terrible season 2.
No.
To give season 3 a go.
No. My cautious optimism. It had 12 seasons.
It had 12 seasons.
There had to be a golden time for it, and people were intrigued enough to want season 2 and season 3 and season 4.
I'm literally just wondering, though, is it just the case that the type of TV that this is has improved so much since Murder, She Wrote that Murder, She Wrote has not aged well?
I'm curious.
Because...
Yeah, but you've mentioned Columbo.
Yes, but Columbo is different and is fantastic.
It's still in the murder kind of mystery thing, at least.
Yes, but I think this is probably along the first I don't know. I mean, Quincy must have been out by then, but these were all like more like detective show. I guess this is a detective show. I don't know. But like, I feel like this is probably the first where they tried to do a kind of cozy murder of the week type show.
Still sucked.
You know, because Quincy has the established repeating characters, which this show desperately misses.
Well, yeah, but
right?
Murder mysteries, we can go back and say, Sherlock was a murder mystery.
Yes.
I feel like there's
enough. But every time you do Sherlock as a show, you're going to give it an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Or you're My point being, the metric by which to judge it, for what people are going to want out of a murder mystery, even if it's only 45 minutes, I think they're going to ask for better than what season 1 has given us, even at this point in time.
This is, I think the key. I think it's the 45 minutes, and I think it's the tone of this show, which I think is new. And I think you can trace back so many of the modern procedurals to what Murder, She Wrote tried to do. If that makes sense. Like, I think NCIS, you can probably track back to Murder, She Wrote. Like things like Castle, you can probably track back all to Murder, She Wrote. But I don't know if you would take them further than that in how their show makeup works. So I don't know if just like Murder, She Wrote was an attempt, and they may find their formula. I'm kind of hoping they find their formula and it starts to get enjoyable. But I just wonder if Murder, She Wrote is just so bad. But then my other argument is if you just watch Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 in isolation, it is a terrible TV show.
Wait, did you say The Next Generation?
The Next Generation. Season 1 of The Next Generation is awful. It's absolutely terrible. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't know if they want to be Captain Kirk Star Trek or if they're pushing towards what it eventually becomes with, Picard, Riker, everyone becoming their own kind of characters. When The Next Generation starts, it has no idea what it's trying to do or what it's trying to achieve. And it's really, really bad. When you get to season 3, it gets really, really good. And I can rewatch Star Trek The Next Generation because I know it's eventually going to get good. Right? And there are some standout fantastic episodes in the bad seasons.
Yes.
Right? They're not all bad. There are some really good stories they tell in season 1 and season 2. It's just it finds its footing, it finds its rhythm season 3 onwards. Right? Whereas with Murder, She Wrote, we keep on getting these possible hints that maybe it's finding its rhythm and it's finding itself, but then it doesn't.
It's snatched away.
But anyway, thank you for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. I still don't think this is a recommendation to go and I'm hoping there is an episode where we can say to people, you should watch this one.
Yes.
Right? And I still don't
even bother to pause for the first 2 minutes and say, go watch it. Go watch it before we talk about it.
Go watch this one. Join in the conversation with us rather than just us slagging off another fucking episode of Murder, She Wrote.
In the worst... I think they'd get more content per minute with this instead of some of these episodes.
Probably. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back at some point with
hopefully next week. We'll find out.
Episode 18.
Dragon Ball Z.
Or Dragon Ball Z. Let's just start watching that, I don't know. Bye for now, everybody.
It's Dragon Ball. Not DBZ.
Just Dragon. Okay, maybe.
Just Dragon Ball's better.
All right. Maybe we'll do a Murder, She Wrote Dragon Ball special.
Bye.
Bye.